Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Shino. We're back in All the Mods 10 to the Sky. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing good. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So there's been a couple of problems with a few videos that I have recorded, and I've actually lost quite a bit of footage. So I do apologize for that. Some of it was audio related. I had one video or one amount of content that I had recorded that had video but no audio. The audio was gone and it just blanked out. And then I had another one where I had audio but no video. So yeah, it's been a little bit of a problem. And what caused it was, what the heck was that? What caused it was an issue. I was actually in the middle of recording and we lost power at our house. And if anybody who's used OBS knows that anytime there's a disruption in the way you have OBS set up and you have to reset stuff, a lot of times it never goes back to the way it was. So I do have like a checklist of things that I go through, you know, like after OBS does an update, because that's usually where you see most of the problems at. So once OBS does an update, I've got a set of rules that goes into place that says, hey, you know, make sure that you double check your video, make sure you double check your audio, make sure you double check your EQ, you know, all that stuff kind of gets done. And, but I didn't use that for whenever I just lose power, because I've never really experienced an issue where I've lost power in the middle of a recording, had to reset everything and then go right back into recording again once power came back up. And so I've never done that before. So now I have. And one of the things that I do is when I run into problems like that, I usually try to make a note for myself so that it doesn't happen again. So hopefully this doesn't happen again. So I just looked over, made sure that my screen is capturing properly. You'll see that the gray bar along the top of the screen is no longer there. That's another one that kind of reset on it. And audio looks to be going good on game sounds and on my mic. So, hey, welcome back. So what I want to do real quick here is kind of go over, because I don't know, you know, at this point, I don't know what I have and what I have not talked about in the videos, because I've still got some content that I am in the middle of editing to get out there. So I had to skip a couple of videos. I know one video I think already went out that kind of showed like a gap between when I built this and when we did this. So yeah, we'll start here. So we did start into Mekanism. This is going to be our factory floor. We did start into Mekanism, and all I've really done is laid the foundations for how do we get the key crafting components that we need for Mekanism. So that's what all of this is, and it's really simple. We've got the Ultimate Infusing Factory. It's bringing in, like this one's bringing in redstone, and then every recipe that you need to infuse redstone into then drops into this so that we can craft it, right? And same thing for each one: coal, enriched diamond, refined obsidian dust, and then I've got two more here that have nothing in it. And then we have the compressing factory for the osmium. Over her, we've got an enriching factory here that is, or what we do with this, the recipes are covered up, so I can't get to it. But anyways, it does like certain things for us. And then we've also got these two that are for creating the dust that we use. So any dust that are needed in any of these recipes, that all comes from here. We do have a requester up here that is constantly replenishing our need for the enriched redstone, for the enriched diamond, obsidian dust, and refined obsidian dust. So those items are always ready to go as needed. So as we use them over here, it starts replenishing it. This last crushing factory is really going to be here to help us move when we need to make, and we'll talk about this in a minute, but when we get into having to make the pulsating black hole, we're going to need like the 7x cobblestone. You know, we're going to need all of these things at like really high levels. And so what I'm doing is deciding that, hey, for cobblestone, gravel, and sand, oh, I can do those right from here using a recipe that's going to take, one cobblestone, a 5x cobblestone, and turn into a 5x gravel, and then the 5x gravel into a 5x sand. So that finishes the automation process for the couple of the items that we're going to need for the pulsating black hole. Cool. So that's what's going on here with Mekanism, right? And then let me pull up my personal shrinking device. Here we go. And let's jump over here. We set this up a while back, and I know this video went out, but we've got our areas here that's getting our ether gas and also getting our soul lava. It's coming out from this area. And then this area is unchanged as of right now. But what we did, I think this is the episode that did not go out. I can't remember, but this is where we set up the stuff for making the fissile fuel. And you can see we're already up to 1.2 million millibuckets of fissile fuel all being processed through. And this is all, it actually works through pretty good. We've got everything kind of starts over here. We're making our hydrogen and our oxygen. That's all taking place here. And then it's all feeding into here to make our water vapor. And then that stuff is then passing on using the quantum entanglements that we can pass on the oxygen and the water vapor. And then that all runs everything through here to become the sulfuric acid. And then same thing. We just move it and keep shuffling it around until we get to the very end process here, which is to make the, what is this stuff? Uranium hexafluoride, which then feeds into the isotopic centrifuge and then comes out as the fissile fuel. And the only thing we've done for moving this stuff around is I've got an ender chest that is back on the other side that is pulling out and keeping in stock 64 of each one of these items, and then using laser IO just to move those items to their appropriate locations. Really pretty simple, pretty easy to do. And again, as I said, as this is something that we need to expand or enlarge, we might move this back to here to this spot, and then we can just copy and paste all 5 of these machines in the node, copy them, paste it right on top, and we just double the output. So yeah, pretty simple. What we're going to be doing this episode when we get started is we're going to be putting in the reactor up here so that we can start turning this into the spent nuclear waste so that we can make our polonium and plutonium. Other than that, what we have been doing and what I've been working on over here also between is trying to get some of our infinite drives completed. And so this is a way that I've been doing it is by using an export bus and then going in and creating the crafting recipe in here, say for netherrack, right? And go through there and say, hey, right click, and then tell me to make a whole bunch of netherrack. And it's going to pull it into this compacting drawer, which I've got these all nested going all the way up. So when this comes in, it'll do the compacting and and pull it all the way up. I found this to be faster than using the AE2 crafter for doing that because the AE2 crafter, not only does it have to craft all of the components that you need to be able to get to that top level, but then it also has to do all the crafting for that tier all the way up as it goes all the way up here to the top. And that was taking days to do. And this is going a lot faster. So let me pull that one out of there. And now you can see we've got actually the 6x gravel, soul sand, and now the netherrack. So let's pop up here and we can look at the recipe for that. Now I will pull this over so you can see the 256. How many of those we have now? We have 6. I believe we got one back as a reward when we were doing some of these that we have already done. We can take a look that we already have the infinite dirt cell and we have the infinite cobblestone cell. And I think when we did one of those, it gave us another one. Plus, I've been continuing to make them. I originally said we may not make all of these, and I don't know. We might make them all. We'll see what kind of rewards we get. That might be something we want to do. So if I want to make the infinite gravel now, I should be able to do this. And now I did the wrong one. I need that one to there, and boom. Now we have the infinite gravel, and we can clear that one off. And now infinite sand. I've got that one ready to go. I want to make I'm not going to make the dust, but I do want to make the soul sand and the netherrack. Let's do the netherrack one first. So we'll do this, and now that one's done. Cool. So that gives us those two. Clear that one off. Let's do the sand, which is that one right there. There we go. That'll give us the infinite sand. And do you see what it did? It took my infinite gravel one. I did not mean to put those. I meant to put them away first. I knew that was going to happen. I got to do the gravel one more time. Now, well, luckily, the gravel one's not near as hard to do. Let's pull that gravel one back up. All right, so for making the infinite gravel one, we're going to need the 6x gravel, which is that right there. So watch this. Boom, just like that. Isn't that awesome? So we now do that to there. Yeah, having that cobblestone recipe for doing the 5x really is the way to go for when you need to get these made. So like I said, even though I made that mistake, not that big of a deal. We'll do this, and there we go. Infinite gravel. Let's put that away into here. Boom. And then the other one I want to make is the infinite soul sand. This one right here. So we'll do that. We need a bucket of soul lava. That's interesting. Why can we not get a bucket of soul lava? We have 113 there. That's weird. Okay, let's do that. And now we should be good. Yeah, there we go. Now we have infinite soul sand. Awesome. Yeah, so when you go in and you look at soul sand, look at that, 2.1 billion, I think is what that's referring to. So the reason I want to do that is because we are starting to see a little bit of stuttering from the amount of machines that are kind of in here. So I want to kind of start getting rid of some of this stuff. So now that we have infinite gravel, we can actually just bypass. We don't need any of this all the way back to here. We can get rid of, and we can just start pumping the gravel in directly into the sieve right here, right? And same thing with the sand. We can just pump the sand directly in there. Now this one is doing the dust, and you can see, we're not keeping up with the dust from the production of it. But, if we wanted to make the dust, we could. Otherwise, I think what we could probably do is maybe pump in the sand like into only one of these, and that might be okay, right? You also see over here we don't have deep slate. We have deep slate going on there. We have endstone going on here. We're not processing the, oh my gosh, how did that get in there? That's not good. We are not processing the netherrack. And right now we're not getting any netherrack. So I need to fix that really quick. Give me this and give me that. And we're going to say delink. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to configure that and lock it. And then we can add it back in. Cool. Yeah, we are getting a little out of hand on our Godforged pearls. We are getting a ton of them. Let's go take a peek at that. Forge 116,000 we're up to right now. Whoa. Yeah, that's a lot of them. So, yeah, they're starting to kind of eke in everywhere. If I've left a gap someplace, I've been finding that happening on occasion. Items that are like leaking in. If I forgot to lock a drawer, items are starting to leak into it. So I gotta double check everything every so often. So yeah, we now have infinite soul sand, which means we can actually get rid of everything here. This can all go away, and we can just pump the soul sand in straight into it. So that's kind of why I wanted to do with these infinite cells, is kind of free up some of the space, or free up some of the machines that have been kind of clogging everything up. All right, real quick, one more thing that I would kind of like to do here. Let's grab, yeah, we're fine. Let's grab a spot here. Or I can plant a tree. Actually, a big tree. Here we go. And I'm going to need, is it that one I need? I think it is. I think it's this is the tree capitator. Yeah, this is the one right here. So we're going to, oops, go down. We're going to grow a nice big tree. And we're going to chop it. Cool. And then I need to turn this into, oops, how do I turn that into the sawdust? Right. I want to make a sponge. Okay. And for that, you need the wood chippings. Oh, it's the hammer. I need the hammer for it. Okay. Do I have a hammer on me? I do. Cool. All right. Let's try this again. That. And then this. That's what I want right there. I needed the sawdust. Cool. Or the wood chippings. Cool. So now we can make, we should be able to make sponges now. So let's do, I don't know. Let's make, oh, that's like one. Any wool. So let's give me, I don't know, give me like 200 wool. Here we go. And give me, yeah, that'll be enough. So what do I want the sponges for? Something that is kind of getting a little bit out of hand over here and causing some problems. And that is the additional honey. I don't really need, I'm not doing a whole lot anymore as far as breeding goes. So really what's happening now is this area is getting filled up full of honeycombs. And this area is getting filled up full of honey. And I really don't need any more of that. So I have heard that if you take and put a sponge in there, that it will prevent the honey from coming out anymore. So we're going to do that. Very good. See, now we don't have to worry anymore about the honey coming out of there. We can still get honey if we need it from over in this area. Plus we have the honey essence. So I'm not too concerned with us not being able to get honey anymore. So I think we'll be fine. Are you going to go out? You coming in? Okay. Got to do something with all these Starbuckles now. Woo! And cats. Starbuckles and cats everywhere. There's no one coming in to see me. Mercy me. All right. That takes care of that. We got a lot of extra of that. Got a little bit of extra of that. And yeah, we're cool. So let's take a look at what we're going to need for today's episode. I'm going to go ahead and clear that one off of there. And I probably should go ahead and kick off a couple more of these anyways. Is that going? Yeah, that's going. They take a long time to make, so I try to keep them going as often as possible. So today we're going to be working on the reactor for Mekanism. We're in this area right here. I did get through pretty much all of this up to this point right here. So we still have to actually get the material that we're going to be, we need the radioactive material is what we're going to need. So we got to go through and make the fusion reactor. I'm kind of surprised that they don't have, or at least I've not been able to find anywhere yet. It tells you, how much you need. And I guess this is the right thing to do here. As far as, hey, what are the pieces I'm going to need for it? So let's go. Let's see if I just got these pieces. I've got some of these here. Let's go to Mekanism. I can't remember if I made these recipes or not. Mekanism. It looks like I did. Cool. All right. So reactor casings. Let's make, I don't know, maybe 200. I have not decided how big we're going to make this yet. Okay. Let me preface everything that was happening here by saying I have not planned anything out, because basically whenever I saw what happened to my videos, I spent, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 days trying to figure out how the best solution was. Do I want to revert everything back? What do I want to do? So I've not done any kind of planning as far as saying, hey, this is how big we're going to make it. So we're going to be winging a little bit of this. While that stuff's processing, I can't remember. Did I talk about this? You guys seen this? This is the automation area here for Just Dire Things. This is for converting all the items that need the goo. So I've got the recipes up here for Celesta gems, for all the different metals, and I still got to get it set up for the fuels, but that's done there. And then I've got this area set up for the intro clusters, which really works pretty good. And I can't remember how I've got this thing turned off right now. I think it's going to be this one right here. Yeah. So if I turn this off, it'll start harvesting those items once they get to full size. Right. So it doesn't harvest the smaller ones. It only harvests the bigger ones. Now, when this thing stops and it's no longer valid right there, see, it breaks it, it places down another one, and then it clicks an intro seed on it to turn it back in. So I'm getting the, what are these things called? The Certus course blocks. Yeah, those are all being stored in there. And this thing can just kick out the intro crystals and drop them off right there. Pretty simple, pretty easy. I was kind of happy with it the way it turned out. So anyways, yeah, I got that done. I couldn't remember if I showed that or not. So I have been able to upgrade pretty much all of these. There's still some along the top that are still the regular inscribers, but I think I've got everything down here turned into for the extended inscribers. Yeah, so that's been able to help kind of move things along with that 256K disc. All right, that takes care of those. Let's get you out of there. We're going to need some reactor glass. And again, I don't know how much we're going to need here. So let's just go ahead and make 200 just to get us started. And we'll call that good. We're also going to need the fusion fuel assemblers. And I don't know, let's make, I don't know, like we might want like we might want to go big on these. I don't know. Well, we're going to find out. I'm not too worried about components at this moment in time because we got so much resources coming in. So we'll just have to, we'll just make a bunch of stuff. And then if we need more, we'll get more. All right, let's see what we can do here. Now we can't build our nuclear reactor, of course, inside the compact machine, right? Because you got to have daylight. Well, you don't need it for the reactor, but you do need daylight for the what do you call it? The for making the polonium and plutonium, right? There's a solar activator, whatever the thing it's called. So we're going to have an area out here where we can get some sunlight on it. And typically that's what I'll end up doing anyways, is building, a large platform for putting in all of my power production. And we're going to do the same thing out here. So I'm going to need the angel block though. Thinking about this angel block. Where'd my angel block go? That's interesting. Of course, I guess I should spell it right. Leave me alone. Oh my gosh. Shino. Let's see. I don't have crank. All right. Why does it say this? Oh, I know why I say I'm missing those items. Okay. There, we're good to go. Gosh. Yeah, it's still not there. Right. I don't know where it went to. I wonder if I left it in the nether or something. All right, let's go. I'm going to turn on F9 so we can see our chunk borders. And let's just fly out here. I do want this to be, a little distance away from everything else that's going on in our world. So let's put this right there. And that is outside that chunk. It's inside this chunk. That'll work. And we're going to need our building gadget. And we need some boards. Let's do B, not B. Let's do, we'll do, what do we have? What do we have a lot of? Not really a lot of anything, do we? We'll start with this. We'll put you on top and we'll program you to that. Cool. All right, there we go. Coming up just a few blocks short, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I don't know how big we're going to make this. I don't know if I need to make it really big because I am doing a lot of AFK on the server right now. So yeah, I think we'll be okay if we go smaller. So let's kind of figure this up. Let's start here in the corner. I am going to build all the way into the corner, in this back corner here. No big deal. Because I'm going to put the ports and everything kind of on the front side of it. So if we make this internal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We make it a 9 internal, right? I think that'll be okay. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I think that'll work. So 9 by 9 internal. I think that'll be good. That should leave us enough space over here for getting like the water and fissile fuel and all that in. I'll put in our automation, our control systems. We'll put all that in over there. And then we'll put the outputs over here for processing at least the rest of this chuck will be for processing the polonium and the plutonium. Cool. Height-wise, I've not decided yet. Let's think about if we do a 9x9x9, right? So basically, we then want to have you go to there, like maybe that tall. I think that'll be fine, right? I think so. Yeah, let's just go this high right to here. Okay, that'll give us kind of the framework for how big we're gonna go. We now need to put in these fusion fuel assemblies, and these are gonna go like every other square in a checkerboard. So we're gonna go like here. There we go. Does that look right? I think it looks right. And I'm going to do that. And if I do surface mode now, I can do that and that. And I think I do need to stop, like, I think that's as high as I need to go right there, right? I think so. Because then we should need to put, the control rods. Did I not make those control rods? I did. Yeah. So now we just need to come through, I think, along top here and just put these control rods in, right? Put these on top. And it looks like we got a couple that I missed here. Cool. Rest of them done. Looks good. All right. I think now I just got to fill this the rest of the way in. I can't remember if I got to put a full layer on top of this or if it's just going to be, oh, not there, there. Or if it could just be like this, right? So we're going to find out. I can't remember. So I was kind of reading through the quest line. Yeah, it does say that the inside needs to be either those are the control rods and the base, and outside need to be at least the reactor casings. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that top layer that I had done. Yeah, that one right there. We'll pull these top ones out that were the fissile fuel or fission fuel assemblies. We're going to pull those out and we're going to replace them with the control rod assemblies. All right, with that, we should be able to now seal this thing up. I'm just doing a last double check, looking down, making sure I'm seeing those control that, something clicked that shouldn't have clicked someplace, it sounded like. We'll find out. You hear it again? Did it again. Yeah, right there it is. All right, last thing I want to do is fill this all the way around. And that should give us what we need here. And I realize now that because I changed that top layer, this is not a 9x9x9, it's a 9x9x8. So yeah, go ahead and rage at me in the comments. Let me know, man, why did you do that? It's off by 1. Hey, it's better than I've done anywhere else. I think previous series, I've ended up making them like even numbers on the inside when I got done. Yeah, I'm just that kind of guy. Here we go. Is it working? I think it's working. Is it going all the way around? No, not quite, but that's okay. No. Undo. All right, we didn't get the particle effects, but I think that's because I don't have the controllers and everything in it. Yeah, I think so. Let's do, what do we got here? We got the fusion reactor ports. We got the logic adapter, and isn't there supposed to be like a controller also? All right, we'll check it here in just a minute. Let's get the reactor ports in. So this is where we'll be able to put stuff in and out of it. And then we're going to need the fusion reactor logic adapters. There's a couple of these that I do, kind of a different way. So we're going to go ahead and put, we're going to put like these 3 here, like that. And then I usually put another one right about here. Cool. And then we're going to need a output for nuclear waste. It's going to come out right here. Cool. Still not registering correctly. So I've done something wrong. Let me see if I can figure it out. All right, there we go. We got it. There was actually some of these blocks missing from the bottom on the interior in there. Must have got a little heavy with the hammer, I guess, whenever I was clearing stuff out. But there we go. We now have a reactor set up. Yes, we do. Now we can look at it. Yeah, we got everything going in there. Cool. I think now we just need to get the stuff put in here. So there's several reactor ports that I have set up here, right? So we've got this one, and you're going to need the configurator for it. But we've got this one here is set up. Let's see, output coolant, input only. I think that's where we're going to start at. And I want to see, what do we have as far as water producing stuff goes? I know we've got the sinks. But it seems like there's got to be a way that's, you know, like fancier than that. There is a Psycraft water block. That might be pretty cool to do. Not exactly sure if there's anything fancy schmancy that we can do. So we'll go ahead and just go with our standard sink. Let's do it like that. And we'll put you right there. Actually, no, let's go. Let's bring you over just to right there. We're only going to be putting water into this one, right? Let's do a laser IO node. That. And get my card holder. Go. Plop that in right there. And we should now, on the down, put a card. Do I need a special one for fluid? Yes, we do. I need a special card for fluid. Give me 2 of those. Cool. And then on the down, not one of those, one of those. And we're going to drop in the overclocker. How do you get to the max? There we go. Let's see if we can do that. 20,000 if I'll transfer 20,000 every 2 ticks. I will extract. And then, oh, we need to do the insert. Water. Yeah, that's not real fast. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really happy with that rate of transfer. Is the universal pipes any faster? Let's check those. And we'll need ultimate pipe upgrade. See if this is any faster there. Not that I can really tell. Can't really tell if it's going any faster. But I think, if I recall, I can do this with this thing. There we go. That's going a lot faster. And I could even do one more on here if we wanted to. Yeah, that's going a lot faster. Cool. All right, so we got that going. What else we need to do? We need to do the input, output waste, output coolant. All right, we'll take care of that. And then this is going to be the fuel going in. All right, we need to, this is where I'm a little concerned because I can't remember which pipes it is that I need for this. I want to say that for Mekanism, I want to say it's the pressurized pipes that we want. Yeah, I think it is the ultimate pressurized pipes that I want. We're going to bookmark that, bookmark that, and bookmark that. Let's get those recipes made. This is going to be the input for the fissile fuel. Now, can I do this and choose fissile fuel? And set? I can. Cool. And I want to do pipe going up there to the top. And I want that to be an extract. Cool. And now I want to side config for chemicals output auto eject. All right. So yeah, we now have the fissile fuel in there. Looky there. We got fissile fuel in. We got water in. I'm going to hit activate. And this thing's going to start generating some power. And we're going to start generating some nuclear waste. Or not power. Let me get that back. We're not generating power yet. What we're doing is we're burning up the fissile fuel. And we're converting that into energy in the form of heat. And what's left over from the fissile fuel is coming back out as nuclear waste. So really what we're doing right now is generating nuclear waste. And we're not dissipating the heat off. Actually, it's not doing that bad. 373 on the Kelvin scale. But we're not very efficient, right? You know, we're not burning at a very high rate. But we're starting to get our nuclear waste. Let's go ahead and hit scram on this. That'll shut everything down. That'll allow the temperature to go back down. That'll allow fissile fuel to go back up. And coolant seems to be doing okay. So I'm not too concerned with that at the moment. Over here is where we're going to be getting the nuclear waste out at. And this is where things are going to get a little tricky here. I am going to... Shino, if you've ever watched me before, you know Shino gets a little silly when it comes to nuclear waste. And he causes some problems. So we're going to try to fix that in the beginning. Try to keep that from happening. All right, we're going to now, let's pop over here. going to go to the reactor side of it, and we're moving up this line right here. This is the direction. We got to do both of these. We got to get plutonium. We got to get polonium. We're going to work up this direction right here. So we're going to need the solar neutron activator for making our polonium. And I would like to have a nuclear waste barrel or two. Let's grab one at least. No, you know what? We're not going to. Reason, I started to say, yeah, we are, but nah, I'm going to change my mind on that for now. And reason being is that these pressurized tubes actually hold more than a barrel does. So we're going to be able to store, like, that tube right there is going to hold more nuclear waste than the barrel would, right? So we're going to do it like that. Let's look at getting the recipe for the solar and I don't think I need a recipe. Let's just do it this way. Let's just do it this way. Oh, I did that wrong. Yeah, because I said I don't think I need a recipe for that. So we're going to bypass it. We do need bronze. Let's head back over. We may need a couple. We may not need a recipe for that, but we may need a couple recipes over here. So what are we going to need? We're going to need, we've got all of those can be made. The advanced solar is not one that can be made. So let's go ahead and do, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. There's going to be a lot of this stuff that we may not need at this moment, but I think we'll probably end up needing, and have them nested like this probably would be helpful. All right, we're going to use the metallurgic infuser recipe for making our bronze. I think that would be probably the easiest way. So we'll do that. And it says we're going to need 0.01 millibuckets of this liquidized tin, right? I don't think that's the recipe I want to go with. I think we're going to do it with the tin dust. Yeah, we're going to use the tin dust. So let's do tin dust. Cool. And then do we have a recipe over here for tin dust, iron, osmium? We do not. So let's make a recipe for tin dust. All right, we need to do just a little bit of math before we finish this recipe up. So I want one piece of tin dust. Right, that gives me one of those. I'm going to put that into... Have anything in this one yet? Nothing in that one, nothing in that one. Let's use this one right here. Okay, so we're going to put one piece of tin dust in, and that gives us 10 millibuckets. Okay, and I think that's exactly what we needed. So we can do 3 copper ingots now. And yes, that's perfect. So it leaves us with none of the tin left. So I just want to make sure that the math was going to work out there for the recipe that we were planning on using. And I didn't make that recipe yet. Here we go. We're ready to go now. We can do this and that one right there, but we're going to convert that over to tin dust. Very good. So does that now give us everything that we need for making the solar neutron activator? Seems to be going okay. Yeah, it did. Cool. And now after that, everything should start replenishing back up. Cool. Now there are a few different items that we can make from nuclear waste. And the one that I'm primarily concerned with at this moment is going to be using this item right here for making polonium. That's going to be the key thing that I'm more concerned with at this moment. Let's can we kick this thing back on for a little bit? Yeah, there we go. So this thing, we're going to have to run this primarily for generating of the polonium. And we're going to end up, once we get this thing moving so that it's actually generating a lot more than what it's doing right now, we'll end up having to have 2 or 3 of these or more set up. Now, these only work during the daylight hours, right? So this is not something that we can use at night. So we're going to have to make sure, that at night, that we don't have a whole lot of nighttime hours. What we're going to have to do. So we're going to have to end up setting a system up to advance the night into the daylight so we can keep this generating at a longer rate. How are we doing? We're generating a lot of steam. Let me scram this thing again. All right, cool. So we do have our reactor set up now. We've got to put some automations in here so it doesn't blow up on us. But we've got fissile fuel production going on in our compact machine. That is dumping fissile fuel into the reactor. And that is all chunk loaded over there. Let's go ahead and get this area here chunk loaded. There we go. That is now chunk loaded. This is now chunk loaded over here too. So while we're away from this area, it'll continue to run. Cool. Next episode, we're going to get into draconic evolution. We're going to need some of the draconic stuff anyways for automating the sun and keeping it going all the time. So that'll be the next thing we'll get into, will be draconic evolution. And hopefully that'll get us close to going after the Chaos Dragon. All right, folks. Hey, thanks for spending time with me. This is Shino, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.